Well, welcome back. In this video I'll do the last bit of prep work before I can finally start building my workshop. So this bunch of trees here I need to take down. They were in a bushfire about 3 years ago. Most of them are dead and they're just too dangerous because they're too close to where my shed's going to go. I haven't cut many trees down, but I learned pretty quick and it seemed to go pretty well, and I was fortunate to have a paddock where I could just drop them and not be too worried that it was going to hit anything. They're all pretty big. I mean, these are around 35 meters high, which is around 100 feet. And they did come down pretty easy. And as I said, they're dry, so they're going to be great firewood for next winter. About halfway through here, and things have gone pretty well at this point. Here's why you need to be safe. So that one landed on a different stump, and if I had been standing there, that would have been pretty painful. And this one here, I was a bit lucky it didn't wipe the fence out.
Oh. Just missed.
I don't think you can get much closer than this. You'll notice a couple I have a rope because they're back leaners, and I didn't want to take a chance they're going to fall the wrong way. This is the last tree. Once this one was down, I ripped the stumps out, or most of the stumps, to clear the area a bit more. Good pile of firewood there for next winter. As I said, the stumps came out reasonably well. They were nice and dry, and it took only a day or so to burn them. The job was so much easier with my excavator. I just couldn't have done it without that. I left those two trees behind. I don't mind them. They're a bit further away, and if I have to deal with them later, I will. But we have a lot of wildlife, and I'd rather leave a couple that I think are safe. Here's the stumps. They just burned down to ash. Probably took 2 days, and they were completely gone. Now, with the trees out the way, the next stage was to finally start rough leveling the pad for where my new workshop's going to go. And before I could do that, I needed to move a couple of things, and one of them was Fred, which is my tractor. And he's been sitting around for a while. He's going to be a future project, but moved him out of the way. And then once he was in a safe spot, it was just a matter of rough leveling. It took just about a day probably to rough level. It's within probably an inch or so of level. And the first stage, or the next thing I need to do, is drill the piers. Now the piers, because this was on field land, the piers are going to be quite deep in some areas, up to 3.5, maybe 4 meters. And I really don't know what to expect with those. So unfortunately, we've been hit with a stack of rain, which is good for this tank. As you can see, it's incredible that we're nearly half full. We've had a heap of rain in September, but the problem is it's just too wet, and you can see the water sitting here, and I'm just not prepared to drill piers that deep until this dries out a bit. So fingers crossed the weather clears very soon, and in the next video I'll have a go at drilling these piers. See you next time.